Dale Earnhardt Jr. has joined us now. He drives the number 88 Diet Mountain Dew Paint the 88 National Guard Chevrolet this weekend here at Talladega. Comes in here ninth in points. And Dale comes in here. He's got 5 wins at this racetrack. He's got the series best driver rating at this racetrack, a 92.7. So Dale, talk about racing at Talladega. Been here racing a long time, and you've had success here. And talk about coming down to race here this weekend.
Yeah, I like coming here. It's a pretty laid-back weekend. The guys really don't make too many adjustments or do too much work on the car. You don't have to really practice a whole lot. There's not really, there's a lot of rules and restrictions when you go to plate races, so there's not a lot of adjustments you can make to the car. The cars really don't go fast enough to have a handling issue, so they're just kind of, you get them close to the ground, and that's pretty much it. But so it makes for a pretty laid-back weekend for the teams, and it gives you a chance to sort of, kind of regroup a little bit. This track's got a lot of history, and I'm, proud of what I've been able to accomplish here, and I like, the sort of mystique the place has, and a lot of great, interesting things have happened here. So it's always fun to come to this place. It's just such a different track than what we normally race on. It's really big and a lot different style of racing. So it's kind of a nice change of pace from all the mile-and-a-half stuff we do.
We got Ed, and we'll go over here to Mike, and then we'll go right here. Go ahead.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com. Dale, as an outspoken non-fan of 2x2 drafting and racing, what, if anything, do you think the rules adjustments are going to do to affect that Sunday, and or is anything going to change about it till the track ages, till the pavement ages at both of the places?
Well, I think that there's a lot of different variables that created the tandem racing. It was kind of the perfect storm, if you will. We had the cars, the new COT, and how the bumpers line up perfectly, how flat both ends of the car is. So you're able to push people without picking them up off the ground or doing anything too crazy. And then you have this new, the latest in technology when it comes to asphalt and paving, which is, you're seeing tracks like Charlotte. I mean, that place should have aged quite a bit by now since it was repaved, and it's as if the place hasn't aged at all. Tons of grip there, and you saw it in the style of race we had at that place the other night. So, I mean, it was kind of the perfect storm, a lot of different variables, and they did kind of choke down the plates on the cars a little bit over the last little, before this most recent change. What they have been doing is kind of slowing the cars down a little bit. So that's just going to increase our ability, I think, to have the tandem racing. I really don't know if it'll change much till we get out there and see. I don't expect it to change really at all. The one thing, and I hate to quote Jeff Gordon, but I hate to speak for anybody, but he brought up a good point the other day. We were talking about this style of racing, and I was thinking, it's good that we're going to get a bigger plate, because I think going faster is a way to sort of break up the tandem drafting. And I'd seen that in some tests we did at Daytona, where the plate changed mid-test, and it changed the way the draft worked, and it changed how we did tandem draft, and we weren't before with just a small adjustment in the plate. But the one thing that they changed with the radiator, where the release valve, where we'll probably have to swap sooner. If we're going to push each other around the racetrack, we're going to have to swap more often. And when we do make position changes, when you say you're working with your partner out there and you got to change more often, that's when it kind of gets crazy because you lose a lot of speed, and the guys that are not changing, that are behind you, come flying up on you really quick. And if they don't have a lot of room and everybody doesn't know what's going on, bad things can happen. So the change in the radiator to make us change more often, it wasn't really. I don't really see what we're trying to do there, and how that can bring about any good. I think it'll just put us all in difficult situations more often, because when you make a swap, it's a difficult situation for the other drivers that aren't swapping, that have to sort of dodge you and hope they know where you're going and what you and your teammate are trying to do before you can, because you lose so much speed in the process of making that swap. So the guys that aren't, the guys that are pushing each other, that are coming up behind you, sort of have to know what's going on, and everybody's sort of making a lot of calculated guesses out there. So if that's happening more often, that's a little bit troublesome, but I don't think it'll be that big a deal. But it's the one I didn't know what that change was really for, other than just to try to make it swap more. But I think we'll still, hopefully we will. I don't like the tandem drafting, but hopefully some of these changes will make us do that less. But I don't know, man. It's just so much grip out there. The main factor, I think, is the grip of the track. But there's some other things that sort of play in the role, too.
Let's go Mike, and then David Carabello. Go ahead.
Mike Hembry, Speed.com. Dale, the position you were in here in April, pushing Jimmy in the last part of the race, at what point did you realize, hey, I'm not going to finish any better than second in this race, no matter kind of what happens? And does that change your thinking or your planning at all for going back this time?
Well, for what when you work, I work with Jimmy all day long, and there comes a point in the race, and it might be earlier and it might be late, but there comes a certain point in the race, and this has happened at Daytona and Talladega both times, where you get an idea of how things are more effective by whoever's pushing or leading, and for whatever reason, we're faster and we do better and we're more successful in passing cars, staying in the pack, staying in the heat, doing what we need to do, with me pushing and him leading. And we did. I think, I'm not sure if this is a true story, but I found out, I heard that there was a rag stuck in the water pump of the 48 car from Talladega, and that would make it difficult for him to push anybody. So I told Chad to quit sticking that rag in there, and because I wouldn't mind getting pushed every once in a while. But I'd heard that when you take the water line off the top of the radiator, you stick a rag in the radiator just to keep any debris from getting in there until you reconnect the hose, and it somehow got knocked down in the radiator and ended up in the water pump. But it just for whatever reason during the race, you just figure that out. You say, all right, man, I'm having trouble. We're seeming to struggle with being on the same page in this position, and when we swap, we seem to be on the same page and make great decisions. So, one guy's better at leading, one guy's better at pushing. It just so happens that most, in the this year at least, me and Jimmy's been better leading, I've been better pushing.